feel so uncomfortable to talk about on camera, and I feel like so embarrassed to have gotten myself into this situation. Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Becky and I'm a fashion and lifestyle blogger, and I post here on YouTube twice a week and on Instagram every single day, so I will put my username on the screen here as well. Why are there only planes when I'm trying to film a video? Can you leave faster? So for any of you who watched my YouTube video a week ago, you will know that recently I got myself into a tad of financial trouble, and that has been really getting me down recently. So before I did find myself in this debt, I did spend a lot of time online watching videos about savings, investing, building wealth for the future, trying to make your money go further, budgets, all that kind of stuff. I love it. And since I've been in this kind of debt mess, I found that I'm watching a lot of similar types of videos, just kind of focus a little bit more on getting out of debt. And while ever it's really inspirational watching these people who have been in debt talk about how they got out of it and things like that, I'm finding it a little bit difficult to relate to the end result when that seems so far away from me. And I figured that if I'm feeling that way, then some other people are probably feeling that way. So I thought that I would start a little series on here on YouTube, even if people don't watch it, more for me to document my process, my progress, and to be able to really look back and see how far I've come. So I'm going to try and post in this series probably once a week or once every other week, depending on how much is going on, whether there's enough really to report. So yeah, I guess that first of all I will talk you through what I owe, who to, why, blah blah. Okay, so what I have at the moment is a little spreadsheet on my laptop, and I've got written down how much I owe, when it needs to be paid by, how much I paid, and this spreadsheet kind of calculates weekly what payments I should be making to pay everything off on time. Some of these are the actual deadlines. For example, a credit card payment has to be paid by a certain time. Some of them are self-imposed deadlines, like I want to pay my dad back by a certain time, so I have given myself a deadline for that. So currently my spreadsheet is telling me that I need to pay back around £243 a week, which is terrifying. So I'm going to go through one by one. So the first and the biggest debt that I have is my overdraft. I have £2,000 in overdraft. Of this, I think around 1,500 is money that I spent going on a trip to Disney with my family in March, and some kind of unexpected expenses around that cropped up. Around 350 or 400 of that is money that I put towards my car repairs that I had to do a couple months ago, and then the rest of that was just a little bit of money that I had to take out in January because business was just really slow after Christmas, and that adds up to, I now owe the bank £2,000, and that is due to be paid off in a year, so that means the weekly repayments are about £38.50. So the next largest amount that I owe is for my car repairs, which I talked about in my previous video, so I won't go into them in detail. And the money that I had to borrow for those was £2,500, of which I've currently paid £1,000, so I still owe my dad £1,500 there. And I do just want to note that my dad has said to kind of take my time and pay him back whenever I'm ready and whenever it's comfortable, but I don't like owing him money. It doesn't feel very fair to me, so I would like to pay him back as soon as I can. So whatever, it's not my top priority, because it is one that I've imposed the deadline myself rather than him. I do have kind of a goal of when I would like to pay him back by, and my goal for paying back my dad was the end of the year, which is 22 weeks away and means weekly payments of £68. The next largest amount that I owe is to my other half. My car insurance came in last week and it came in 200 or so more than I thought it was going to be, and with everything else that's been going on, all the payments I've been making on other things, I haven't had a chance to save for that. So I borrowed £460 towards my car insurance. So my kind of aim for the car insurance money is to pay that back within the next 2 weeks, which means weekly payments of about £65.70. Then the next thing is a trip that I'm going on at Christmas with my mum and my other half. We're just going to like a little log cabin in York for a few nights over Christmas. This is something that I booked before my whole financial mess, at which point it was going to be really easy for me to pay it. Now that it's booked, it's something that would cost everybody else involved a lot of money if I didn't pay my share, and also I really don't want to be stuck at home on Christmas while everybody else is away and doing things, because all of my family is kind of going there, or a lot of the rest are going to Mexico. So it's, I guess it's not the most it's not the easiest thing to be sympathetic with, but it is a payment that I've committed to before I was in this situation and can't really go back on now. So the payments left on that come to £326, and that is due in 11 weeks. That means that I need to pay £30 a week-ish on that. The next item is a vacuum cleaner. I bought a vacuum cleaner again before this whole mess. I could have bought it outright at the time, but I was trying to build a credit score, and I figured that if I bought it in a catalogue and paid the weekly payments on it instead, it would be good for my credit score. So I decided to order that on finance instead of paying it outright, which at the time seemed like a very smart decision, but now in hindsight I feel like an idiot, because I now have £265 left to pay on that, which over the next 15 weeks will be at £17.50 a week. Next is my credit card. I tried to use my credit card as little as possible. The limit is 400, and the whole point of getting the credit card was just that I would build some credit with it, I would use it, pay it off a few days later, and just kind of continue that cycle. But since I have been struggling for money, there have been some times where I've had to actually use the credit card for things like petrol or food, electric. So currently I owe £150 on my credit card, which over the next 3 weeks is a £50 payment, because if I don't pay it by. And then the last thing that I owe money on is another catalogue order. This was some things that we needed for the house. So the last thing is another catalogue order. There were some things that we just needed for the house when we moved house. Things like lamps. We found out that a couple of our pillows in the old house, where the wall had gone mouldy, it had gone into the pillow. So we threw the pillows away, we bought new pillows. Smashed glasses and things when we were moving had to be replaced. So that in the end came to £121, which is due in 34 weeks and makes £3.60 a week. This feels so uncomfortable to talk about on camera, and I feel like so embarrassed to have gotten myself into this situation, because a lot of it is that I got arrogant with the position I was in, and rather than saving, I committed myself to pay for other things. But whatever, I'm in this situation right now. And so originally when I did start tracking the things that I owed and stuff in this spreadsheet, it was £6,481, which is now at £4,822. So I've paid pretty much £1,200 so far, which feels just so crap, to know that there's so long to go. And included in that £1,200 was money that I had in savings, and obviously I don't have savings to help anymore. Yeah, so as part of this series, I want to talk about what I'm doing to pay it back, kind of work-wise, what I'm doing each week to keep track of it, keep track of my spending, different budgeting tips that I find, but I think that to put much more into this one video is going to be crazy and a bit too much. What I have been doing though is each Sunday I make, I just scratched my face, cool Bex, cool. What I do is each Sunday I go through the spreadsheet and focusing on things that have to be paid by certain dates first. For instance, the holiday and the catalogue payments. Both my other half and my dad have said that I can pay them back when I have time and when I can. So whenever I'm trying to pay them back, they're not my first priority. And with my overdraft deadline being so far away, that's not really a top priority at the moment either. So what I'm doing is focusing on those higher priority ones first, trying to make the weekly payments a little bit extra if I can, and then I check out my spending for the week, see whether it was over or under budget, and kind of check where I've been spending too much money. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the numbers for that now and then update you, and I think that will be enough for this week's video. Ooh. Okay, so I've just finished making payments for this week, and I thought that I would talk you through what I've done this week. Payments to my overdraft, I haven't made any payments to the overdraft this week, and no payments to my dad this week. I'm going to have a couple of relatively big invoices from Instagram coming in at the start of next week, so I'm gonna try and I think send my dad a big payment rather than sending him a little bit this week and a little bit next week. So nothing for dad this week. What I've been doing with my other half is every time we go food shopping or a bill comes out or something, I've been paying it, and we've been deducting that half off of what I owe. So throughout this week I've paid £52 back that way, and the spreadsheet was telling me I should be paying back 65 a week. So I've just sent £13 over as well to make that 65 paid total. On the trip at Christmas, I've just paid £57. I paid the £30 that was recommended for this week, and then when I'd finished making all the payments, I realised I had a little bit of money left over, and so I made a week ahead payment on that as well. Then I paid £18 on vacuum, which was the recommended weekly amount. I realised that I forgot to update the spreadsheet last week with the credit card payment I made then, and part of that money I think had actually been some clothes that I ordered and returned because they didn't fit. So there was £97 less than I told you guys on there, and I've just made a £35 payment. Also, about a month ago, I ordered a new electric toothbrush for my other half on Amazon, and that never turned up, so I filed a claim with Amazon and the refund finally came through this week. So between those things, my credit card balance is now 0, which is so exciting. I'm really happy with that. And then on the catalogue order, that was for house things. The spreadsheet was saying £3 payment, so I just put £5 there. So overall, with all those different things combined, that's a reduction this week of £353, which takes my recommended weekly payments from £235 to £203 a week now. So I'm really pleased with myself to have been able to make such a big payment off this week. I'm a bit bummed that I didn't get to pay my dad any, but he has said like a million times to just send him money when it's easy, when it's comfortable. And like I said, between the work that I've done nannying this week, and I think I have a £200 and a £100 invoice coming in early next week. So I think I'm going to try and send my dad a couple £100 next week, rather than sending a little bit now and a little bit then. I really feel almost a little bit of a buzz, having reduced it and seeing this big chunk being paid off. I've left about £50 in my bank account, which is what I do every week. I make as many payments as I can and then leave £50 for the week. So I think that next week I will talk about budgeting and how I budget for the other things that I spend throughout the week, like food and bills and stuff, because I think this video is just way long enough. So if any of you are also in debt and trying to work down on it, and you want to kind of join in with me, I'm going to put a blank version of the spreadsheet that I use to keep track of all my debt in the description box, and you can download that. I truly think that if you know what you owe and to who and when it needs paying by, you can really take charge of it, and it just feels so much more manageable when you know and you can see it going down than just blindly making payments here and there and hoping for the best. So I'll put that in the description box if anyone wants to use it. And for now, I'm going to stop babbling and work on my budget for the next week. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video and that it helped some of you at least. And if you did, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in next week's update. Bye!